Hey there, this is Abhimanyu Kaushik and welcome to Textile Quest, an exclusive podcast series by TextConnect for the textile and the fashion industry. So in this episode of the August month, we'll have a wrap of all the industry updates, news, innovations that have taken place in the textile and the fashion domain. So before we begin, all our listeners and the viewers, a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. May Lord Ganesha bless our industry with lots of success and prosperity. So let's start with some notable and the sad performances by the companies in the quarter just gone by. So Vardhaman Textiles Limited reported a net profit of around 313.35 crores for the quarter ending by June 30, 2022, as against rupees 300 crores in the corresponding quarter of the previous year. That is, there is an increase of 4.13 on a stand-alone basis. The top line of company has reached to around 2,700 crores, which is higher by 44% over the quarter corresponding to the previous fiscal year. Whereas, Welspun has had a disappointing quarter as the home textiles major had a quarter one net profit down to 90.4%. That is a mere 21.36 crores looking at the size of the company. This happened mainly on the account of high input costs. The company had posted a consolidated net profit of Rs 222 crores in April-June quarter a year ago, Welspun India said in a regulatory finding. Its revenue from home textiles was around 1,800 crores and 169 crores from the flooring segment. Even though Welspun Group Chairman BK Goenka was positive and said, "We have delivered a relatively healthy operating performance in the face of an unusually tough macroeconomic environment, which is characterized by unprecedented high input costs, rising inflation, and subdued consumer sentiments." Now coming down to Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited, which recorded a 39% revenue growth in the quarter one. They recorded its highest ever quarter one sales. This is attributed to the growing consumer growth and loyalty, which led to the growth in the business and channels. The firm continued to expand across markets and brands, specifically in small towns. These areas showed promising results with a network of more than 500 stores. The reason attributed to this growth are an acceleration in e-commerce and an omni-channel pay, which went hand in hand. The firm clocked a 39% growth in its revenue to reach a whopping 2,875 crores. So this was it from the accounts of the companies. Now moving on to another big update that has caused a sense of resentment amongst the consumers because their favorite brands like H&M, Zara and Nike have been called out for greenwashing. Now by this I mean several globally renowned fashion brands like H&M, Zara and Nike, despite embracing sustainable practices through implementation of different sustainable programs, are failing miserably to put the same into actions. The second largest fashion retailer in the world, H&M, reportedly has a business model to trick consumers into buying more clothes than they truly need. Then, by promoting recycling and encouraging consumers to do the same, in no way can make up to the 3 billion garments the retailer produces on a yearly basis. And it is not just H&M. The Spanish fast fashion giant Zara is now nowhere close to combating its current fast fashion business model and has a very high carbon footprint in its supply chain, which the company has made no mention of slowing down. Zara is even criticized for not providing a detailed list of factories and refraining from publishing the results of their audits. Now this has sparked a concern about transparency. Now this makes it more difficult to evaluate the impact of sustainability goals, especially when the brand talks of switching to 100% renewable energy to run its internal operations by 2030. Not to mention its plans to reduce and offset all emissions by 2040. Now this looks a far distant, unreachable vision right now, but what is more saddening is the breach of trust caused by these fashion giants to its consumers. Next update about the industry is about the global recession that is knocking at the doors of the Indian textile industry. Now, industry bodies and businessmen said export orders of garments and home textiles from the US and Europe have declined by about 15 to 20%, as Western retail brands are facing a slow demand. In Panipat, an important production hub of home textiles, there are indications of a decline up to 40% in the export orders. It is believed that the inflation caused due to Russia-Ukraine war and hike in interest rates are responsible for the recession and fewer export orders. Buyers said that the retail sales in the Western countries slowed down significantly due to high inflation. The warehouses are full of unsold goods, therefore it is not possible for them to take deliveries immediately. Large companies and retail brands from US and Europe have procured home textile products in excessive volume last year, but retail sales remained weak. Therefore, they have to reduce their buying. However, some experts are hopeful that the situation will improve in the months to come. There are festivals coming up like Christmas and the Easter. Foreign buyers have mostly placed orders for their upcoming December orders. There is a silver lining and let's hope for the best. If the global economic situation improves, the export orders may increase. Now coming down to a survey that says removal of import duty on cotton is needed for the textile sector. Now what does it say actually? The authentic data and the removal of import duty can enable the growth of the textile sector in upcoming cotton season. The Indian Texpreneurs Federation ITF said that the textile and the apparel sector in the country is facing turbulence due to historic high cotton prices combined with the demand contraction in developed markets. Even as the industry is now hoping for a robust cotton crop harvest in the new season that will be starting from the October 2022. Around 99% of the entrepreneurs mentioned that cotton import duty will make Indian cotton prices higher than that prevailing in the international market. The removal of the import duty in cotton to ensure level playing field with competing countries, extracting sales data in number of bales with the help of GST portal with reference to ginners across India, and installing SIM card based smart meters in ginning mills to get the real-time pressing data in the number of cotton bales. Now peeking into a bit of educational news in the textile domain, DKTE, a college of engineering for textiles, has signed an MOU with the Uzbek Textile and Garment Industry Association. Now this is done to promote technical education in the textiles in Uzbekistan. This formal exchange would certainly benefit the textile industries of both the countries, having a collaborative and symbiotic relation. Now let us have a look onto the highlight of a relationship that Bangladesh shares with the Indian textile industry. In the next news, we have Bangladesh, which remains a top importer of Indian cotton yarn. According to the latest import and export data, the total export of Indian cotton yarn was around 47,200 tons in May 2022, which was down by 53% corresponding to the previous year's data. Bangladesh remained the largest export market for Indian cotton yarn, while China fell off the top 10 export markets and ranked 12th. Indian cotton yarn exports to China in May was 731 tons, which were down to 96% from a year earlier and 86% down from the month earlier. China accounted for just 2% of India's cotton yarn exports in May, which were down by 5% in April 2022. Bangladesh, with a share of 52%, still remained the largest market for the Indian cotton yarn, which is up by 3% from April 2022. Vietnam and Portugal ranked 3rd and 4th, accounting for about 4%. South Korea ranked 5th, accounting for 4%, and other countries accounted for less than 4%. Now let us glance to the innovations and the projects section of this podcast, starting with an update about Filatex, a company which is looking to source power from wind solar hybrid project. Filatex India, a polyester filament yarn manufacturer, has entered into Power Purchase Agreement (PPA) and the shareholders agreement with the FB Krista Energy and FPEL Sunrise. The yarn producer said that the textile manufacturing is an energy intensive procedure. Renewable energy and reducing the carbon emissions from the plant is the aim. It is aimed to reduce the cost of energy required for the textile manufacturing through the agreement. The PPA will be valid for 25 years. Coming down next is a groundbreaking innovation of form-fitting fabric that senses wearer's movements, which is being developed at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology Now, this innovation of a form-fitting fabric that can recognize the wearer's movements and even the posture is actually a very innovative fabrication process which employs digital knitting technology and enables rapid prototyping, making it possible for the smart fabric to be manufactured on a large scale. Through a process called thermoforming, the scientists could enhance the precision of the pressure sensors woven into multi-layered knit textiles, which they called the 3D knits. Now, with this technique, they were able to make a smart shoe and a mat, and then constructed a hardware and software system to and interpret data from the pressure sensors in real time. The next innovation comes under wearable textiles, where the Swiss researchers have developed an Exomuscle technology. The researchers at ETH Zurich, a public research university in Switzerland, have developed a wearable textile exomuscle that serves as an extra layer of muscles. They aim to use it to increase the upper body strength and endurance of the people with restricted mobility. This idea led to the creation of MyoShirt, that is a soft wearable exomuscle for the upper body. It is a kind of vest with cuffs for the arms accompanied by a small box containing all the technology that is now used directly on the body. This works via sensors which are embedded in the fabric, and a smart algorithm detects the wearer's intentional movements and the amount of force required. So this was a wrap from the textile industry. Now let us jump onto the fashion industry updates. Starting off with an update about the Reliance Brands Limited, which has embarked on a collaborative journey with Balenciaga. RBL has signed a strategic deal with the global luxury brand Balenciaga to bring the best of the global couture to the Indian market. With this long-term franchisee agreement, RBL will be Balenciaga's sole Indian partner to launch the brand in the country. It's the most opportune time to introduce the brand to the country, as the Indian luxury consumer has matured and is using fashion as a form of creative expression of their individuality. This was quoted by Darshan Mehta, the MD of Reliance Brands Limited. The next article is about the German sportswear brand Adidas, which has recently collaborated with the South African luxury designer Thebe Magugu. This theme is inspired by African heritage, and this is a new drop that includes a 3-piece modesty swimwear set made in parts with recycled material and chlorine-resistant fabric. The next update is about the Indian fashion designer Nivedita, who has collaborated with the Warner Brothers Consumer Products and DC to bring Wonder Woman to Indian customers. The collection has been an inspiration from the history, architecture, and the spirit of the Amazonian warriors. This collection will now be available at the Nivedita stores in Pune, Mumbai, and her online channel. The next is the big news about the England's football team suits that will now be tailored by Marks & Spencer's. UK's Marks & Spencer's is now officially the tailor of the England's football team for both male and the female players. It started in 2007 when M&S became the official suit supplier for the England team. 67-piece menswear collection available for the consumers to shop at the company's website and in the selected stores from August 18, 2022. So this is it. This was the August wrap by TextConnect on this Textile Quest podcast for all the people from the industry who missed out on certain articles, updates, and the magazines. We'll be back again on the 15th of the next month, bringing you a half-monthly September wrap of the industry for our viewers and the listeners. Until then, keep listening. If you have any queries or suggestions, you can reach out to us via email or our social media handles. Take care. See you.